Hello, I am Reasonable Rex, the T-Rex you can trust. And in my previous video on Fallout, a lot of people thought that I don't like the season. And that's not necessarily true. So today we're going to be talking about the things I do like, and maybe just going a little bit more in depth on what I meant in the last video. But before we can do any of that, thank you so much for the massive response I got. Over 400 subs, that's insane to me. I never thought I would hit that milestone. I made this channel to talk about stories, be it media, be it video games, books, comics, TV shows, cartoons, does not matter. I love stories. I love telling stories. I love listening to stories. And I wanted to have a place to talk about them, to get other people's feedback, and to make videos where people who maybe are coming home from work or are doing something can have something to put on about a hobby or a story they love and just listen to it and relax and make their day go by just a little bit faster. So I'm going to do my best to show that I've earned the support you've given me. And if you want to keep giving me support, the best ways you can do that is by liking this video. That shows me, hey, more Fallout content, please. 2, giving me a comment. I tried very hard to reply to every comment that I can because I want to discuss these things. Even if I'm wrong, even if I don't have all the information, I want to talk about it. And 3, subscribing. Subscribing shows me that you want to see more, that I'm doing the right thing, and that I should keep pushing hard in whatever spare time I have to make videos for everyone to enjoy. So, one last time, thank you so much, but let's go ahead and get started on the video. So, like I said earlier, when I made my previous video, it came out mostly negative. A lot of people in the comments I replied to assumed that I don't like the season. That's not necessarily true. I have problems with the season, I have big problems with the season, but I don't dislike it. Basically, the scales are teetering and they could go either way. I could end up hating it, or they could end up solving it. My main problem, and what the video was supposed to be about, is how they go to all these places in New Vegas, but they do nothing with it. The characters are dead and gone. The locations are empty, barren, or destroyed. And I'm not someone who demands that the show pander to me as a New Vegas The Game fan. I'm fine with things being changed, but do something with it. It's the difference between having a character come on the screen and being like, hi, I'm this character from another book, movie, or story, and people pointing like Leonardo DiCaprio and be like, oh, I know who that is, and having Samuel L. Jackson show up at the end of the Iron Man movie and be like, I'm building the Avengers. And that's just an Easter egg throwaway after credits scene. They could have done so very much with all the locations they went to, but they basically just made a pit stop, said everyone is gone, and then moved on. I'm okay with things changing. It just depends on what they do with it. Why did it change? If we find out that the strip was nuked by Vault Tech or nuked by the Enclave, that's dumb. We did that to Shady Sands and that was hard enough to accept. You're just gonna do it again? But if you come up with some clever reason why all this stuff is going on, not only will I accept it, I'll probably look forward to it. Now that we've kind of covered the last video, let's move on to what this video is really about. The things I like. And surprisingly enough, the number one thing I'm looking forward to seeing more of is the vault drama. When we found out that they were in a tri-connected vault, of course my mind immediately went to, what is the experiment? Most vaults don't survive, and the ones that do is either because the scientists and workers from Vault Tech either mess up or decide to rebel against their employers, or the experiment fails but somehow people survive, or it's a control vault. So we had this big mystery in season 1 of what's the experiment, and when it got revealed it was kind of dumb, actually. I mean, not that the experiment doesn't have any merit as being deemed an experiment that we would see done in Fallout. It's just they go to their sister vault and everyone's like off themselves because of the experiment, but the experiment is we froze a bunch of interns, assistants, and middle managers from Vault Tech to try and train the population of the vault so that when everyone was dead above ground, they could return to the above ground and build a perfect shining society. If I was a vault dweller and they were like, hey, Ted here's actually from before the war, and he's actually like 200 years old, and he's going to try and help us build a better society. I wouldn't be like, oh man, I need to immediately stab a fork into a toaster. I'd be like, oh, that's cool. Oh wait, they don't talk like that. I'd be like, Ah, that's swell, buddy. Can you tell me a little bit more about it? What was the world like before the war? Everyone talked like this in the 50s, I think. That's what I'm led to believe anyway by media. So it was just really weird that they had like this big negative reaction to it. So the experiment no longer became important. The circumstances that are created from it and what Norm does in season 2 has made it so very interesting. Betty no longer cares about the experiment. She doesn't care about vault tech. She's trying to save her vault. When the NCR came in and uncharacteristically acted like insane psycho raiders to get Lucy's father, they damaged the water chip, and the vault is starting to suffer. They are trying to ration water, their food supplies are getting low, it's looking bad. So she turns to the overseer of their sister vault, Stephanie. Stephanie is such an interesting character. When we first see her really doing something, she's pregnant opening fire on the people raiding her vault with an eye missing, and you're like, wow, she's what a gal, I guess, as they would say in the 50s. But as time is going on, there's something sinister to her. Yeah, she tries to sleep with Chet, and you can make a human understanding why. I mean, her husband's dead, she's in mourning, she needs some comfort, but then she has the baby, and I don't think she cares about the baby. In fact, I'm willing to bet 10 bottle caps she doesn't care about the baby. She's just pawned it off on Chet, and now it's his responsibility. Even though she does use it to try and blackmail Betty. But in the last episode, and huge spoilers here if you haven't seen episode 4, we discover she wasn't American, she was Canadian. Now, if you're not caught up on video game lore, you might be like, why does that matter? Well, America annexed Canada, and we didn't do it the nice way. We went in guns blazing. There's even a very famous scene from one of the earlier Fallout games where American soldiers gun down some Canadian civilians and laugh about it. See this one here? That's actually supposed to be Nate from Fallout 4. Yeah, that's him. Look at him, having a good time, killing innocent civilians. We basically consumed Canada for their resources and for their strategic positioning, and Canada suffered for it. And now we have a Canadian that is part of a society that have no idea what Canada or America was. But she remembers. She knows the pain that was inflicted. So what's her plan? Clearly, she's dangerous. We've already seen that. She's also very intelligent. She's conniving, charismatic. She is a better villain than anyone they had in season 1 or anyone we've seen in season 2. I'm far more scared of her than Lucy's dad. So I cannot wait to see how this develops. And then, weirdly enough, in a surprising offshoot of this story, I did not like Norm in season 1. I was glad that he got knocked out and left in the vault, because I was like, what is he going to do? And then we got the story of him discovering the vault experiment. I was like, okay, he's a computer genius, he's smart, people don't expect much of him. And it was pretty cool seeing him play everybody to find out what he wanted to find out. But when he got locked inside the vault with Bud, I was like, he's probably going to be cryogenically frozen and removed from the show. Like, they'll find something for him to do at a later date. But what I didn't know is that between seasons 1 and 2, Norm leveled up. He put some points in intelligence, charisma, and a little bit in survival. He went days, weeks without food, drinking water from water seeping down the wall, eating the food from the welcome kits from all the people still cryogenically frozen. And then when it seemed like he was out of options, when he could only choose to be murdered by Bud or go into his father's cryopod and be frozen, he created a new option when none seemed available. He took out Bud and unfroze every person in that vault. Now, when I saw this happen, I was like, oh man, he's doing this to try and get a way back to alert everybody to what's happening. No, that is not what Norm is doing. He's tricked these people into believing this is all part of Bud's plan, that he was chosen to lead them to the surface to do Reclamation Day. So he doesn't even care about the vault. He's going after his sister. He's going out into the wasteland. And if you know anything about vault dwellers that are not the main character of the games, they're usually very poorly prepared for what's out there. Whenever it comes to characters who are not being controlled by a player, a rad roach is basically a death sentence. So I'm very interested to see how he's going to lead them. And we haven't had much time with him leading them, but we've already seen that these people who got through life by undermining others and bribing and promising and backstabbing are already starting to work their normal routine on him. As one of them explains that, oh, I know about phase 2, and he's using it to try and get more power. So I'm quite interested to see what they're going to do with him. And then lastly, we got the Brotherhood Civil War arc. I honestly could not care about this. I know, a lot of people are really into this. I like Maximus. I think he's probably my favorite character of the original trio. He's a guy that you can tell has like a 10 in strength and a 10 in luck, but boy does he have like 0 intelligence. He is hilarious, he's bumbling, but he's honest, he's good. But he's good in a way where his morals have been shaped and tempered throughout time by other people. And he's just now starting to discover his own morals. He doesn't follow the Brotherhood Codex anymore. He's doing what he thinks is right, and it's led him to starting a civil war. I'm sure people have a lot of theories on how this civil war is going to go. Oh, the Commonwealth's going to show up with Liberty Prime and wreck them all. Oh, the Enclave's going to show up. More chapters are going to show up. One side's going to win. To me, I don't care. I've never been a Brotherhood of Steel fan. The most I ever liked them was in Fallout 3, and then I ran into their offshoots, what were they called? The Outcast, with the red paint on their armor. And I was like, wow, these guys are majorly messed up, because my first impression of them came from Fallout 3. So I was like, oh, these are good guys who help people. And then I immediately realized soon after, nope, no, they are not. So I didn't really care about that. But the personal story of Maximus growing, changing, finding his own ideals, finding his own morals, that is amazing. And I want to see more of that. And extra points, he now has Thaddeus with him. Thaddeus is a character that you either dislike or like very greatly. And I'm in the latter camp. I find him hilarious. I love how he is doing his best to survive. He's always done things to survive. The only reason that he turned people on to bullying Maximus when he showed up was so that he wouldn't be bullied anymore. It's not like he was like, oh man, I'm gonna beat this kid up. He was just like, oh, please stop punching me, punch him. And then whenever he tried to get the relic back to the Brotherhood, it wasn't because he was like, oh man, F Maximus. Okay, I mean, it was a little bit about that, but he was like, if I don't turn this in, I'm going to get murdered. And then when he finally gets there, he gets ghoulified or whatever's going on with him. And he's like, well, now they're gonna murder me, so I gotta go somewhere else. And then he found a bunch of kids and turned them into basically like child labor workers farming caps for him. And I was like, what is he going to spend those caps on? They're nowhere near civilization as far as I can tell. So he's just collecting them and having some sodas. But you see a little bit of good in him too, because whenever they're all about to get murdered by the Commonwealth envoy, he tries to stop it. He tries to talk his way through it. So I'm very excited about their story, but I don't really care about the Brotherhood Civil War. I'm sure other people really are, and please, by all means, tell me what you're excited to see happen in the Brotherhood Civil War. Are you hoping Liberty Prime comes in and starts blowing up other Pridwins? Do you want the Enclave to show up? Do you want them all to become a new faction altogether, where they're no longer the Brotherhood, they're the Knights of the Wasteland or something? There's a lot to love about the Fallout show. It's just it's currently warring with the things we once already loved being murdered or torn apart for no good reason. I'm not going to cement whether I like, love, hate, despise it until the final episode has aired. That's the great thing about having a good writing cast. They can set you up to think things are horribly wrong, terrible, and then at the last moment pull the sheet away to reveal actually there's something crazy going on you could not even conceive of. And one last thing I want to ask for before we end this video is, do you have any theories how this is going to end? That's the one thing I can say about the season. I have no idea where they're going. It was pretty clear in season 1 where everything was going. The relic was important. Lucy's dad was important. We were going to figure out what both were. That I knew that was going to be the end game. Here, I'm like, is that Robert House or Anthony House that we saw in the first episode? Is Robert House dead? The Securitrons got upgraded, so the Platinum Chip got delivered. But did it get delivered by the courier, or did his brother do it after he was dead? Well, what's going on with the Legion? They're not just going to have them fight each other and never show them again, so I'm sure they're going to come back to them. So does that mean the Legion's going to be an important force? Is the NCR really actually gone? Or are they just all huddled in a location we haven't visited yet? That's the one thing I can say about them doing so much wrong with New Vegas, is they have a chance to surprise all of us, and I hope it happens. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate that you took the time to watch it, and I hope that you'll be here for the other things that I make. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Liking tells me that you want to see more. Comment so that I can reply if I have the time and are able to. And subscribe to show that, hey, Rex, make more content so that I can consume it. And I'll be like, okay. And until next time, bye!